Princess Aerea is gone but not forgotten. The faithful pray for her sweet soul every morn and every night. Outside the septs, the same questions are on every lip. The princess was missing for more than a year. Where could she have gone? What could have happened to her? What brought her home? Was Balerion the monster believed to haunt the velvet hills of Andalos? Did his flames start the fire that swept across the disputed lands? Could the Black Dread have flown as far as Astapor to be the dragon in the pit? No, and no, and no. These are fables. If we put aside such distractions, however, the mystery remains. Where did Aerea Targaryen go after fleeing Dragonstone? Queen Rhaena's first thought was that she had flown to King's Landing. The princess had made no secret of her wish to return to court. When that proved wrong, Rhaena next looked to Fair Isle and Old Town. Both made sense after a fashion, but Aerea was not to be found at either place, nor anywhere in Westeros. Others, including the Queen and myself, took this to mean that the princess had flown east, not west, and would be found somewhere in Essos. The girl might well have thought the three cities to be beyond her mother's grasp, and Queen Alysanne in particular seemed convinced that Aerea was fleeing her mother as much as Dragonstone itself. Yet Lord Rhaego's agents and informers could find no hint of her across the narrow sea, nor even a whisper of her dragon. Why? Though I can offer no certain proof, I can suggest an answer. It seems to me that we have all been asking the wrong question. Aerea Targaryen was still well shy of her 13th name day on the morning she slipped from her mother's castle. Though no stranger to dragons, she had never ridden one before, and for reasons we may never understand, she chose Balerion as her mount, instead of any one of the younger and more tractable dragons she might have claimed. Driven as she was by her conflicts with her mother, perhaps she had simply wanted a beast larger and more fearsome than Queen Rhaena's Dreamfire. It might also have been a desire to tame the beast that had slain her father and his own dragon, though Princess Aerea had never known her father, and it is hard to know what feelings she might have had about him and his death. Regardless of her reasons, the choice was made. The princess might well have intended to fly to King's Landing, just as her mother suspected. It might have been her thought to seek out her twin sister in Old Town, or to go seeking after Lady Alyssa Farman, who had once promised to take her adventuring. Whatever her plans, they did not matter. It is one thing to leap upon a dragon, and quite another to bend him to your will, particularly a beast as old and fierce as the Black Dread. From the very start we have asked, where did Aerea take Balerion? We should have been asking, where did Balerion take Aerea? Only one answer makes sense. Recall, if you will, that Balerion was the largest and oldest of the 3 dragons that King Aegon and his sisters rode to conquest. Vhagar and Meraxes had hatched on Dragonstone. Balerion alone had come to the island with Aenar the Exile and Dennis the Dreamer, the youngest of the 5 dragons they brought with them. The older dragons had died during the intervening years, but Balerion lived on, growing ever larger, fiercer, and more willful. If we discount the tales of certain sorcerers and mountebanks, as we should, he is mayhap the only living creature in the world that knew Valyria before the doom. And that is where he took the poor doomed child clinging to his back. If she went willingly, I would be most surprised, but she had neither the knowledge nor the force of will to turn him. What befell her on Valyria I cannot surmise. Judging from the condition in which she returned to us, I do not even care to contemplate. The Valyrians were more than dragon lords. They practiced blood magic, and other dark arts as well, delving deep into the earth for secrets best left buried, and twisting the flesh of beasts and men to fashion monstrous and unnatural chimeras. For these sins the gods in their wrath struck them down. Valyria is accursed, all men agree, and even the boldest sailor steals well clear of its smoking bones. But we would be mistaken to believe that nothing lives there now. The things we found inside Aerea Targaryen live there now, I would submit, along with other such horrors as we cannot even begin to imagine. I have written here at length of how the princess died, but there is something else, something even more frightening, that requires mention. Balerion had wounds as well. That enormous beast, the Black Dread, the most fearsome dragon ever to soar through the skies of Westeros, returned to King's Landing with half-healed scars that no man recalled ever having seen before, and a jagged rent down his left side almost 9 feet long, a gaping red wound from which his blood still dripped, hot and smoking. The lords of Westeros are proud men, and the Septons of the Faith and the Maesters of the Citadel in their own ways are prouder still, but there is much and more of the nature of the world that we do not understand, and may never understand. Mayhaps that is a mercy. The Father made men curious, some say to test our faith. It is my own abiding sin that whenever I come upon a door I must needs see what lies upon the farther side, but certain doors are best left unopened. Aerea Targaryen went through such a door.